Shalom, CFI friends, prayer warriors, intercessors, and to all of our prayer partners. Coming to you here from a very bustling Friday, just before the Shabbat, right outside our city gates here at the Old City in Jerusalem. We're entered the month of September, which is the last month on the Jewish calendar, also known as the month of Elul. And during this time, starting from September 2nd, the Jewish people entered a 40-day period of preparation of the heart for going into the fall feast. During the month of Elul, which happens to be my favorite month on the Jewish calendar, and I love it because there's this intentional turning our attention and focus toward God. And this is done in a number of ways through prayer. The Jewish people are intentionally praying more. We're hearing the sound of shofars being blown all times of the day, morning, noon, and night, as people are blowing the shofar as a call to attention for the heart in preparation for the coming feast. And prior to these fall feasts, the Jewish people just finished celebrating the 9th of Av, or commemorating, I should say, the 9th of Av, which is the date where both the first and the second temple were destroyed. And leading up to this time of those two temples being destroyed for the sin of the people, the Jewish people were reading through portions of scripture that were focusing more on rebuke. And after the 9th of Av, and as we go in from September 2nd, starting with the month of Elul, the Jewish people began reading portions of scripture that were more comforting, like reading from the prophet of Isaiah, chapter 51, 52, 53, 54, reading through these scriptures, 55, 56, all speaking words of, speaking and foretelling of redemption, of the coming era of redemption through the Jewish Messiah. And so I want us, as the Jewish people are going through this intentional soul searching through the month of Elul, going into Rosh Hashanah, also known as Yom Teruah, Feast of Trumpets, going into Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, going into Sukkot, which is the Feast of Tabernacles. I want us to come alongside the Jewish people with those sweet words of comfort that we find in the prophets, and speak those words over Israel and over the people in the land, especially as the people are still grieving what has been taking place. I want us to continue focusing on praying for the return of all of the hostages, and for success with this war in Gaza, and for God's continued protection over all of our borders from the north to the south. Thank you so much for praying with Israel during this time. And we have a prayer event coming up in November, and I want you to tune in for that. You can go to cfijerusalem.org for more information on that. It'll take place right after the feast, and perhaps you would consider coming and joining us and standing alongside us here in person in the land, for the sake of Zion. God bless you, and Shabbat Shalom from Jerusalem.